Right after I did the other upload, it was suggested to me by Chaos that Sith philosophy just as a thing in and of itself would be worth covering. I'd agree with that. There's 2 or 3 different angles to it I was thinking about taking. I might as well just hit on them all real quick. On the one hand, I could just cover real bare bones basic shit, which all I'd really have to do for that is to point to the code and point out that it requires you as an individual to try and figure out how you apply those values, if you look at them as values. Then there's the expansion from those out into other sets of values that tie in directly to those. Those are still at the heart of it, but that's not all there is to it. For example, peace is a lie, there's only passion. So passion would be the main thing that you figure the code starts with, right? There's some kind of underlying truths associated with that, though. Passion from where? Passion of what? Passion of the individual, because there's no other kind. Everything about the code revolves around the individual, even though it's not explicitly stated to. So at that beginning part, there's an unspoken line there. Before peace is a lie, there's only passion. It starts with I, ego, me. That's the real starting point. That's the unspoken part. And then you get into what comes after freedom, or what freedom involves beyond just freedom itself. What do you do with it? What's it for? Why are you even trying to get it if you don't have it yet? So really, I could have chopped it up like that and done it one at a time, but passion, strength, power, victory, freedom, all as they pertain to the individual. You have to understand them as concepts in the abstract, but that's the easy part, understanding them with your head. The next early step most practitioners take is in gaining an understanding of it in personal practice, gaining personal experience with it. Which I thought the Yami Doko training program Chaos put together for the 6th Dynasty at the Force Academy, that did it exceptionally well. It was very simple, very to the point. And it was rooted in, I would say, the mundane. That's the other thing, too. As far as the possible future upload on dark mysticism, as above, so below. You want to get mystical? Start with the mundane. That's where it all starts. It's the doorway you walk through, same as with emotions, leading to an understanding of passion and access to passion. These doorways lead to the heart of the path, and then they expand from within outwards, which is kind of where the Ajak doctrine falls into. It's what comes after being a lord. What do you do with lordship? You build. You produce. You innovate. You become more efficient. Maybe even become more precise on what it is you want, how to get it. You develop a more specialized skill set, or multiple skill sets, as the case may be. And there's a lot of crossover. I'm not going to get too deep into the whole empire doctrine thing, but think about it like this. You got a tree. It's got roots underneath, right? They spread, they grow. You've got the trunk, and then you've got the branches that reach out, mirroring the roots. So if passion, strength, power, victory, and freedom are at the root of it, the root of the ideology, what are the branches? As far as I'm concerned, there are a few key values. One that's a big deal to me is justice. And it might sound a little high-minded, but It's about fairness. Loyalty is another one. Not that you have to be loyal to people, but you have to gain an understanding of what loyalty is, and then you have to learn how to apply it properly, in line with the core values. If the roots and the branches are at war with each other, are totally out of whack, out of sync, dissonant, then it's going to kill the tree, isn't it? Or I guess you could, well, reminds me of Ashton's lecture. My perfect vase is full of polyester flowers, something along those lines. I guess you could have a fake tree, as far as ideology goes. That's what the Jedi have. Manufactured artificial bullshit. Looks right on the surface. You chop it down, though, you don't find any rings. You don't get any sap. There's no signs of life. Sith ideology is the ideology of life. It's the philosophy of life. Embracing it, elevating it to the highest degree possible. There are parallels with Friedrich Nietzsche's Overman concept. So, that would be the long and short of it, if I were to give a nutshell version of it. And maybe we'll dig more into the specifics of each core value. I'm still not sure on terminology. I haven't decided what I'm going to break these down into, but I do have a whole set of, we'll call it a framework to work with. And all of Empire Doctrine builds directly on the foundations of those core values. So, if there's any seeming contradictions, any seeming dissonance, you can either work through it yourself or ask me about it as I go. Either which way, I promise, it all ties in together. It all complements. It's like even the concept of building. That's tied directly to my passion. It's really simple, but it's not easy to apply. Simple doesn't mean easy. So I think that's about it for this video. It's going to be a short one. I'm going to try to keep most of these brief. And I'm not entirely sure when the next one will be, probably in the next 2 days or maybe even tonight. But, yeah. That would be the long and short of it. I might do an upload on a conversation I had on Facebook, on my page. Somebody retorted, or had a retort on that quote I posted, made into a meme from my lecture, Vulgar Displays of Power. That was fascinating. I mean, I guess in the end he agrees with me. He didn't have any reason to come up with a retort, because if his last comment was true, then there was never any disagreement. He was just kind of poking and prodding to see what, if anything, underlies the basic concept put forward, that we all have choice, we all have power, and it's a question not of whether we have it, but of whether or not we're willing to admit it. It comes with a lot of baggage. A lot of people don't want to deal with that. I'd call them weak, but I'll leave that for another time. For now, this is Darth Draconis out.